This Monero Matteo video is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Safely store, send, receive, and trade your Monero on Cake Wallet on Android and iOS. What up? It is Monero Matteo. Welcome back to the channel. And we have new subscribers. We have new people checking out the channel. Jay Dyer, if you're checking out the channel, thank you for checking us out. Hopefully we can schedule an interview, brother, sometime next week or whenever you're free. And for our viewers, we're working on new interviews. We are reaching out to people in the Monero community and reaching out to others. And I put out a tweet yesterday for you guys to comment and give me some ideas as to who to interview regarding Dero and Pirate Chain. Because I know that some of our viewers are interested in that. I'm interested in that. So if we could get that going, that'd be fantastic. Because I'd like to learn more about the projects. I know much more about Monero than I do Dero and Pirate Chain, but as far as what I can glean from Dero and Pirate Chain, from the research that I've done, they look like solid projects. And our position here on this channel is that, look, we need to have different cryptos competing with each other so that, one, if there's a problem with a crypto, we can hedge and pivot to another one, and then two, these cryptos which compete with one another could actually be rather cooperative in the same goal that we all have, which is to have a parallel financial system which is distinctly away from a lot of the stuff that we're going through on this channel. It provides freedom. It provides an opportunity for us who are not so loved by the political system and the people who are involved in it thereof to live freely and to kind of have an opportunity to thrive in this brave new world of ours. So just a couple things there. So today we're going to be talking about the petrodollar and a lot of the things going on in the world, shifts which are going on under the surface. And one thing that I've learned from my excursions into a lot of this information over the last few years is that if you want to understand what's going on in the world, you have to understand what's going on in finance. You have to understand what's going on in the global economy. Because that old quote, just follow the money. I mean, that's true. It's true. Follow the money, and you'll learn a lot about why it is people are doing what they're doing, why it is people are saying what they're saying, and why it is we're mad at who we're mad at, we're enemies with who we're enemies with, and we're friends with who we're friends with. And so I hope that you guys get some info that is valuable here so that you could develop a better sense of what's going on. And we'll tie that into crypto a little bit, but this is mostly going to be a little bit of a divergence from what we usually talk about. But we'll integrate some concepts here into crypto, into some of these other things. So that being said, what I do want to start out by doing is talking about some good things going on in the news for Monero. Where is it? So Goldman Lamp, some of you guys may have heard this. This seems to be a pretty big development. Let me just make sure I'm recording. And I'm talking. Cool. So Goldman Lamp, which is a private bank, and I looked into them a little bit. Is this the article right here? Yeah, so they're very private. They care a lot about their privacy. There's a section down here distinctly for privacy, and I saw some people come out on Twitter. They're like, nah, this can't be real. I mean, banks are buying Monero. That's not right. But guys, I mean, as we've talked about here on this channel, like, governments are going to buy Monero. Banks are going to buy Monero. In fact, I know somebody who thinks that the biggest consumer of Monero and user of Monero is going to be governments. Why? Because they do a bunch of nefarious things behind the scenes. Do you think that governments want everything that they're doing to be jotted down and noted and seen for everybody throughout the history of time? No. Okay, that's not how they want that to be. And so with the color revolutions that they fund, with the terrorists that they fund, I mean, just look at the moderate rebels in Syria, look at what we just did with the tallies, look at some of the people we fund overseas, look at who funds a lot of these attorney general races here in the United States. I mean, there's a lot of money which flows under the surface from very powerful people and people involved in government and banks where you don't really want people to know about this. Now, it could theoretically, some of these high-profile people just download Bitcoin or some of these other cryptos on a hard wallet to give to somebody else. Well, maybe, but why not just give it to them in Monero? Because who knows where those Bitcoins have been? You know what I mean? It could be dirty. It could have gone to the club late at night, and you don't know what they picked up there, right? So we think that banks and governments are going to be huge on Monero because, yeah, a lot of people turn out to like privacy. And if you guys still haven't checked out Catherine Austin Fitts, she's done a lot of great work on this. I mean, she's looked into something called FASB 56. She and somebody by the name of Dr. Mark Skidmore have discovered trillions of dollars which have gone missing from, the Department of Defense, from House and Urban Development, and they account for these things as being undocumented adjustments, quote unquote. Well, how are you going to be able to get away with trillions of dollars? I think they tallied it up to like $21 trillion from 1994 to 2010, I want to say. Like throughout all those years, they took their graduate students and they looked at all the financial statements that were released by these sectors of the government, and they found trillions upon trillions of dollars of quote unquote undocumented adjustments. Well, if you have a public blockchain, you're not going to be able to get away with that. And how many of those things which are accounted for as undocumented adjustments were things that were genuinely lost, right? And it just wasn't like slipped through the back door, given to some corporation or given to some, entity under the table, right? So we don't know. We don't know, but I think a lot of money is going to move into Monero from governments and banks. So look at this. One of our main priorities is privacy. And so you guys can just take a look at all this. Like, this is how much they care about their privacy. Like, right to erasure. You have the right to request that we erase all of your personal data. So, like, this is like your Better Call Saul firm. This is like where you go if you're like a Heisenberg kind of guy and you just want, so you could request that a business that sells consumer personal data not sell the consumer's personal data. So they're all about privacy. Right, so who's involved in this bank? We don't know. We don't care. They're going to buy Monero. That's cool. So let's read this article. Goldman Lempe. So UAE, this is recent news. The Goldman Lempe Bank announced that it had purchased 150 million euros worth of Monero cryptocurrency to guarantee the privacy of transactions to its clients. The decision was made under the advice of an expert specializing in cryptocurrency. They should have hired me. Goldman Lamp Bank offers cryptocurrency wallets integrated within their internet banking, enabling the exchange between crypto and fiat easily. So that's interesting, right? And we've talked about this in previous videos, how when they come out with the central bank digital currencies, one of the main uses for Monero could be to wash out a lot of these currencies, because presumably you're going to have private decentralized exchanges. Atomic swaps are going to be viable at that point. You're probably going to be able to atomically swap Monero for central bank digital currencies. And, if you were doing things with your central bank digital currency, or maybe you don't want it associated with you want to wash it out or whatever, you just swap it for Monero. Now, whether those people in Monero are going to want to have access and exposure to that is another question, but that's something that could be done. The decision is highly strategic for the private bank. It demonstrates why it's earned a reputation as one of the most significant and influential institutions in the offshore private banking sector. Right, so this is, again, where probably the cartelistas go to bank and do nefarious things. But guys, just so we're clear here, like Monero and these other coins that we're into are not just for criminals. Like, it's real money. And we say this every video, and I know this gets kind of old to talk about, but look, if it's not private on the base layer, it can't be fungible. And if it's not totally fungible, then it can't be a legitimate currency. Okay, that's just the way it is. And if you want to learn more details about that, go look at our Michael Saylor video. We go into that with more detail. But yeah, it has to be private on the base layer for it to be fungible, because if the history of every crypto in a system could be tracked, then those cryptos could be valued differently from one another, which means that if you have an accounting ledger, the numbers on that accounting ledger may not actually equal each other because the units of value themselves are not equal. So that's something to consider. It demonstrates why it's earned a reputation, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Goldman Lamp specializes in the private offshore banking market and guarantees secrecy for every client. The bank offers discrete and tailored solutions for the needs of each individual business. Now, you may be wondering right now, how is it? Let me pull up this so that you guys aren't like, well, they can't do that. This is illegal. I mean, certainly, like, regulators have to be getting after them. Well, Perkins Coie, which is one of the biggest law firms in the world, they came out with a paper that said, yes, it is possible for these cryptocurrencies to comply with AML, anti-money laundering regulations. So, yeah, that is something to consider. So banks can get into it, governments can get into it. All signals a go, or whatever that saying is, right? And it also adds more speculation as to why Coinbase won't just put freaking Monero on their on their exchange. Because one of the reasons Monero is having somewhat of an adoption issue, which isn't too big of a problem for us. We know where it's going. We know it's going to be huge. So if they keep the price low, who cares? I mean, it's the same thing for like gold and silver. They keep the price low through like paper derivatives, market manipulation. But for me, it's not a big deal because I know where the stuff is going to be going at the end of the day. So it just gives me more time to back up the truck and load up more. I don't care. But yeah, I mean, why isn't Coinbase listing Monero, all these things considered, on their exchange? I mean, there's nothing to worry about in regards to regulatory compliance. It's in perfect compliance. Why is it not on the exchange? Good questions, right? They'll have Zcash, and I think Zcash was recently reintroduced to another exchange. I believe it was Kraken. Don't quote me on that. I think Justin had made a quote on that. We'll look up that. Hold on one sec. Justin, this guy, who made a great video, by the way, called Monero is Money or something like that. I watched a little bit of it recently. It was just a fantastic show. Okay, so yeah. Bittrex is relisting Zcash. And he's like, what's up these compliance people? Honestly, well, because they're not allowing Monero to get back in there, but they'll allow Zcash. And interestingly enough, Zcash is like the one private cryptocurrency that Digital Currency Group is invested in. And so we're going to take a little bit of a look at that later this week, the Digital Currency Group, because the Digital Currency Group is run by some nefarious creatures from the underworld, and we want to get more people aware of that. We're talking about Larry Summers, we're talking about Glenn Hutchins, people connected with the Federal Reserve, past Treasury secretaries, and they're all of a sudden interested in crypto. And most of the companies that they invest in are not exactly companies that you would like to have invested in your crypto if you're looking for privacy and you're looking to, exit stage right the system. They kind of want to keep you involved in all that stuff, right? So, yeah, Monero's still having some shade thrown against it by these exchanges. Dang it, exchanges, just let it back on. Let reality happen. You can't resist it for too long. Get with the times. So let's continue to read this article. And by the way, I may just release this video separately because there's just a good bit to go through here. And then we'll do the petrodollar video thereafter. Maybe we'll release that tomorrow or tonight or something like that. So Goldman Lamp provides an elite range of banking services within the European market that extends far beyond what is available at ordinary financial institutions. Okay. And so they're probably involved in black market stuff. And as we went through the black market, as bad as all the stuff that goes on there, we wish the black market in many cases would go to zero because, we're not about drugs or any of that stuff here. But, it's like $250 billion a year of business. Okay? And so Monero's at a $5 billion market cap. There's a lot of move to run into that particular market. And given that Monero is pretty much the only crypto that's used on the dark web now, there is a lot of potential, really. So, what else? The purchase of Monero cryptocurrency ensures privacy and added anonymity for Goldman Lamp clients. The use of cryptocurrency is an increasingly important asset for discerning clientele. It's one of the most highly recommended options for individuals that demand privacy, security, asset protection, and tax advantages. Okay, I don't know why you had to include tax advantages in there. Bad optics. Okay. Goldman Lamp has extensive international experience and creates consumer... Okay, whatever. So, yeah, so that's happening. And just some more good Monero news. Monero Grayscale. Now, Grayscale is also run by the Digital Currency Group that we mentioned before, but it looks like Monero could be gobbled up soon by Grayscale. Okay, buying Teslas with Monero, you can if you want to. I think that's maybe not the best investment advice right there. Okay, so here we go. Well, looks like and this was released earlier this year. I don't know how relevant this is still, but yeah, they could be scooping up some Monero, especially as this Perkins Coie paper came out to shore up some confidence. And yeah, so more capital to be moving towards Monero, which is great. We're still recording. And then last thing, we're going to do interviews and we're going to do more research reports regarding Pirate Chain, but this is more good news for the market. The entire market is getting exposure, so it's a good thing, right? Because we need this space to get exposure. We need to have people understand that this space is integrally important for what is going to be coming here in the future. And I think that this space is going to overtake the conventional space, and DeFi is going to be built on top of Monero and some of these other cryptos, and I think that's already happening with the secret network. I still need to do videos and research on that. Let me know if you guys have any info on that. But yeah, yep. Pirate Chain trading under the absolutely perfect ticker symbol ARRR. Pirate Chain begins with zero knowledge, succinct, non-interactive arguments of knowledge, whatever that means. If you guys know what that means, let me know. It just sounds like cool and private to me. Cool. Again, that's why we need to have people on to talk about this stuff. These take a degree of complexity out of intricate verifying computations. While the theoretical underpinnings have been around for decades, it wasn't until the 2016 launch of Zcash that it found practical applications. I actually didn't know Zcash launched that late. Interesting. So they're just talking about Pirate Chain here. You guys can read all that. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know about this already. But it's in the CoinDesk, which is great. It's getting more exposure. So it's talking about Komodo. Another element of Pirate Chain's dedication to privacy is that it's fully decentralized. There is no third party in charge of any user funds at a time. Rather, all transactions are trustlessly confirmed all-chain. We love to hear it. We are not proponents of privacy. We're champions of the human right to privacy. And it is a human right. Okay, especially with everything that we've talked about on our channel. And look, if you guys have not seen the video we just did a couple days ago, you have to go see that. Like, that is so key. You'll never find another video like that on the internet as far as I'm concerned. I've looked. But, like, we go through some interesting deets as to what the future holds in regards to freedom and blockchain and AI and tax and social credit and digital ID and everything like that. So you need to understand what's happening so that you're not a lamb led to the slaughter, and so that you can be aware of all this stuff and be ahead of the curve. Like everybody on this channel is. We're so ahead of the curve, guys. We're so ahead of the curve. Monero first is going to be huge. We're more than just a project, even more than a grassroots community. Just as other non-governmental organizations, NGOs, are dedicated to saving rainforests or protecting dolphins, we see ourselves as an NGO dedicated to that basic human right. That's a great perspective. I like that. Pirate Chain might not be run by actual pirates. Well, that's a shame. But there is something of the free booting outlaw to their self-perception. Even so, Pirate Chain is thriving as it pursues its mission. Yeah, it's one of crypto's top 10 privacy coins. Are there more than 10? I mean, I guess there are. We love it. We love it. It's a good meme. So here are my predictions, guys. I don't do price predictions, but I think I have general long-term predictions which are going to be right. So Cardano's going to flip Ethereum. I like Cardano here on the channel, and I think I'm going to put my Cardano address with the other addresses I have below, because I know a lot of people, they don't have like some of these other weird coins that I asked donations for. So Cardano, I'll stick that down there. I don't want to take Bitcoin. I really don't want to take Bitcoin just because of our position here on the channel. And I'm going to flip it immediately after I get it, and that's going to be on the chain, and I don't like that. But, like, yeah, Cardano will be down there. I think I'll just start posting that. But I think Cardano is going to flip Ethereum. I think that Pirate Chain is going to flip Dogecoin. I think that's a no-brainer. Some people, they like to say, wow, Nero is going to flip Dogecoin. That could happen, too. We like Monero. Wow, Nero. I don't really talk about that too much, though. It sounds like a joke coin, but I hear that it actually has really good privacy. It's got like 22 ring signatures or something like that, so that's great. And then I think that... What's the last one? I think Monero's going to flip Bitcoin. And I think when we have Arctic Mine on the show, I think you guys will sort of get more of an understanding as to why that's the case. And we'll see what he thinks about that, but... Yeah, we're pretty big on Monero. We're pretty big on this space. And we'll just go ahead and finish this little segment up. I'll do the petrodollar video after this one because these things aren't really related. But yeah, this is a good interview or video on news. So Monero, it's really tugging that $300 mark right here. Let's go ahead and refresh. Let's make sure we have the most recent info. Yeah, so $300. We are clinging to that mark right there. And as my buddy Jesse pointed out to me, if we get above 315 and beyond, we stick above there, which we almost did right here, right? But we didn't because Bitcoin failed to pass 50,000. And unfortunately, Bitcoin's still the market leader, which brings everything with it for the most part. Well, then we could be off to the races to $500 easily. Let's hope that happens. Cross the fingers. And then Cody's another interesting project. Let's see how that's doing. Oh, that collapsed. I should have sold. That's just one of those that are on the Cardano chain. So let's do Haven. There's some speculation that Haven could be the dollar vigilante pick. I don't know why that's pumping. I don't know if that's why it is pumping today, but yeah, we're up 21%. Killer. And just context, guys. Context. Yeah, it's like nowhere, right? So look at 2021. You know, you have some game potential there. But I think if they really fix their problem, and they did have a pretty significant problem recently, hopefully they patched it up, you can now withdraw your Haven from KuCoin. They had to freeze the accounts because apparently there's an inflation problem, which is pretty concerning. But if they fix that up and they're back on the trail, I think it's a good project. Now, it's hard for me to recommend this stuff due to what happened. Kind of broke my heart. But I think that if they succeed in creating what they call X assets so that you could get exposure to assets privately without having to invest in the stock market or having to go into the currency Forex markets, I think that's going to be key. I think that's going to be absolutely key, especially with the regulation, which is going to be coming down on stablecoins. If you could have a private stablecoin like X US dollar or X euro or X whatever, that's going to be key. It's going to be absolutely key. So next, Dero, which I think is going on the main chain. Coming this month, which is fantastic. Market cap 135 million, and I think Ethereum, which does smart contracts, Dero does private smart contracts, and we talked a little bit about the importance of that in the last video that we did. So go check that out. It's key. We are at $12.50, and yeah, it's kind of still in a good bullish trend. Love to see it. And our Pirate Chain, which we were just reading about, which is celebrating its 3rd birthday, it is, kind of trading in a range. It's struggling to really get it up. I guess it needs a nice, well, we can't say that. But yeah, we need to, I think, continue to pay attention to this. I think it's an interesting project. Now, if anyone got in here at like 5 cents, you are awesome. Go ahead and donate a little bit of that love to the channel so that we can continue to talk about it, spread the word. But yeah, it's doing great. We love this sector. It's going to be huge. It's going to be awesome. And guys, stick around for the petrodollar video. I'm just going to do that in a different segment. But there's some good positive news here to talk about today. We love to see it. We love it a lot. And yeah, Monero first. May the freedom coins reign. And may we continue to rock and roll to the skies beyond. So that's all I have to say, guys. Monero Matteo. Check us out on Telegram. I don't know if you guys are checking out the links down there, but check us out on Telegram, Gab, Twitter. Get the hot takes there. We need more people to go to Odyssey. Go on Odyssey, make an account. It's really key. If there are interviews or other videos that I do on here that I can't put up here, which is probably going to be the case, then I'm going to put it on Odyssey. That's going to be the second in command. So check out Odyssey, check out some of these other coins that we've got, or channels. And yeah, that's about all for this video. Short little good one. But yeah, you guys take care. Have a great day. God bless. Monero Matteo. Check.